Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Environment Committee of Kew Town Council held on the 18th of November. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Councillors Messington and Newson.
Two, to note declarations of members' interest in the agenda as it was sent out last week. Thank you. Item three then. Can we confirm the minutes of the planning meeting that was held on the 14th of October?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will now start them. Item 4 then, public participation. Period that exceeded 15 minutes for members of the public to ask questions or submit comments, etc. Have we got any correspondence or anything? No? No. Okay, now can I beg your attention, colleagues, to item 8.1, which is a pre-application engagement relating to Reading House, Regency Court. Can we move that to the next item? My colleagues here can then present and then please to read this over.
Yeah, I'll do. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Up to you then. We've got 15 minutes, so if you...
Yeah, that's great.
We've all been sent these over the weekend. So we've got...
I'm not going to be too killer on that.
Yeah, well, no,
We'll get on to if it drags on a bit.
yeah. Splendid. Councillors, thank you very much for the invitation to speak tonight. My name is Hugh Dennis. I'm up from Brighton. We were employed by the client who is very excited to be investing in this key gateway site, actually called the Southern Gateway, which we all know, in Crewe. The client is DCG. They are a developer investor with also concluding a scheme for the refurbishment of a police station in Derby for the same client, and they're very excited to be coming to Crewe. They hope to get planning permission for the extension of this building to 12 flats, and they're going to keep ownership of the building and manage it in, as a long-term investment plan. So what I'm talking today about is the context for what is a substantial proposal on this key gateway site, but also just have a little chat about some narratives that we've done and we're talking about with Cheshire East Council for their plans for the town centre in terms of. So at the moment, obviously everyone knows about the stalled cinema-led scheme in the centre, and when we first came here and started doing some analysis on the town, it became made clear to us that the town needs more places to live, needs more people to bring footfall, activity, and encourage the commercial and leisure uses into the town. So our client is this is the site, and that's the site that we're focusing on at the moment. I'll quickly go into that. This is some Cheshire East Council's analysis, and you'll be aware of all the works on the way, the pedestrian and cycle route into the station, from the station into the town. This is the existing main route in, as you'll know, and this is the new pedestrian route. What we were identifying in this, these are just blocks essentially, but this is the potential where new homes can be built in the town centre. And zooming into this part, there's obviously the key bridge Breeden House, Regency Court, there's potential for other buildings around to create some density. Possibly also at some point in the future, because the outline planning application, the scheme that's being implemented at the moment has some greenery there, and it could be that could be some flats that would create a bit of activity on the route in at night instead of the service yard. What our proposal on Breeden and Regency is what we're doing. The driver at the moment is embedded carbon and not releasing loads of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere by demolishing buildings and building anew. And so one of the key drivers that we've been looking at we completed R&D on this system. This is basically a factory built. So factory built homes means they're very high quality, and you can reduce the cost when you have enough of a pipeline of work. So one of our client who's investing here, the scheme in Derby for 100 units. We've got another one for 100, just over 100 units down in Ipswich. This is factory built, and what that does, here we've shown how we can strengthen around the edge of the building and then support the new structure into which the prefabricated homes are slotted, and then it's finished off. In this instance, our proposal tonight for Breeden House is an Art Deco look to the building. So this is the existing 3 stories, and these are 5 stories on top, dropping down to, so it's 8 stories on the corner, dropping down to 3, just opposite the Christopher Delphinian Hall, actually. And then there's the High Street, which is a bit shorter. Here's some contextual images. Kevin, we were talking about the potential for solar photovoltaic panels that they kind of echo the look and feel of a funnel on an Art Deco liner, but it's about creating a strong, exciting image for the building on this prominent corner. One of the key things about our approach is when you're building above an existing structure, is you need flexibility to be able to get to all the flats without having stairs and go through the building all the way through. And this is the same approach that we're using over car parks as well. So now, what that means is that we have the lift and stair pull here, but we have deck access. One of the key things about our approach is these decks. They're very sociable, so people get to meet each other instead of in those quiet, dead corridors where it's a little bit interaction, a bit less natural. These are like your front gardens where you walk past your neighbours. So if someone hasn't seen Fred for a few days, more likely to just keep an eye on each other. In terms of fire safety, these are outdoor spaces, you can grow plants, but instant dispersal of smoke as opposed to the active dispersal of smoke which is required inside lots of flats that are being built at the moment. You've also got 2 directions of escape, and that's critical. That's really important. One of the key drivers about this approach is that people have multiple options for leaving the building in an emergency. Another driver behind the double deck is about maintaining the building. Lots of flats, they go up and then they're left for decades, and they look a mess. And very expensive to repair or and let them clean. Whereas these people will attend to their farms. If people aren't particularly green-fingered, one of the tenancies, and this is in the management plan, that will be in the planning application. One of the tenancies, affordable tenancies, there'll be a caretaker gardener role, so they'll be maintaining plants. And one of the key things about the continuous deck is that that's easily done by someone who can just come along and tend to the plants. And that's going to really help with biodiversity gain over the whole building, green building. So that's the approach here. You can see the repetition that happens with the different. These are one-person flats. These are two-person. These are three-person flats. One of our client sees these smaller flats being important. This is the right location for people to commute to Manchester. Our conversations with Cheshire East Council suggest that the town centre, the homes that are needed there are going to be tend to be more family homes, slightly bigger, also downsize of retirement homes, and not so dense. It'll be a lot more streets and squares, whereas this is a bit more of a landmark building that has easy access to the railway station. So that's a view from the Oak Street, Mill Street roundabout, and then this is a view showing the green roofs when viewed from the north, and so that's really the end of my presentation. Just wanted to leave 15 minutes at a time for any questions.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah. You say you're going to make the 3-storey into 8-storey
On the corner.
on the corner, yeah. Now, I'm not a builder, but to me, if you're putting another 5 floors on, that must put an extra lot of weight on the foundations.
Absolutely correct, and that's why this system is so the columns that go around the outside of the building, and they're on new foundations, and then here the building structure spans between those columns, so there'll be a small amount of support, and the amount of support that's required, the amount of support that's provided by the existing building will be calculated by a structural engineer, and then that will determine the strength and depth of the new foundations. So the key thing is about being able to reuse the existing structure and make best use of the embedded carbon.
You touched on the. Sorry. You touched on that you've got something going on declined. You've got something going on in Derby and Ipswich, was it?
So that client is Derby and they're here in Crewe, and we're doing the same system for another client in Ipswich.
Right. And is that, you know, that's, when I first looked at that, I thought, hey, what we're in Manchester city centre. You know, because there's lots of very similar in cities, and it's really something potential to bring to, you know.
We hope that you like it's a modern design, and we're not fans of pastiche, and we think that the new building needs to represent the time that it's of and the technology that will be being used. In this particular case, we can't have timber structure, unfortunately, because of recent regulations where you're not allowed to have timber frame on taller buildings. So this is going to be a combination. It's going to be hybrid steel and concrete, and that's just the rule.
There's a couple of questions at the moment. One is, what will be the expected lifespan of the construction? Probably gave us a hint on that. And the other question at this point, anyway, is to do with parking. Parking of motor vehicles.
Yeah.
Because that is a big issue in Crewe.
Yeah.
Particularly well in the immediate area and as you've seen further south. So I understand you cycle from the station. Anyway.
Yeah, word gets around. Is that, yeah, I think, yeah.
So you've had
it was up to those late, and the trains were delayed. So
you've seen the ladder streets, this is where they were intended. So, what about parking and
No, thank you. So, building lifespan parking. So, parking first. The target audience, the target for people that the client is seeking to live here are going to be younger people who their first flat, probably got a job in Manchester, or I mean that's likely going to be the people that are looking at. They're less likely to own a car, and the ground floor parking. So we do have 24 parking spaces. Several of those are going to be dedicated to an electric vehicle charging, electric vehicle car club. So people can hire a car and just for a few hours or a day or so. For example, if you look at Enterprise Car Club, that's a good example. Sorry, and that was the cars. Now the building lifespan. One of the key things about these decks is that they protect the building. So they protect the building from the worsening weather, so the rain, it's ridiculous rain and the sun that we're getting, and so we expect the buildings to last a very long time. It's going to be very well protected, and also you can get to it, and when problems occur, you don't need to, because one of these would cost like £4 million to put scaffolding up, and so it never happens. And so this is going to be the kind of thing that you can just have a handy person come around and do a little bit of fixing.
This technique has been used elsewhere.
This, we're not suggesting anything sort of untried here. The Pantheon in Rome is 2,000 years old and will be using concrete. One thing that we're talking about is lots of the precast concrete manufacturers of different sorts of concrete. So the Romans have literally thousands of different sorts of concrete. And we've only been using Portland cement-based stuff, which is a huge amount of stuff that comes on site. So there's lots of new forms of concrete, some really interesting ones where they're actually capturing carbon from the atmosphere, doing something to it, and using it as a bonding agent in concrete. So yeah, that's the approach here.
Yeah. Right on to my little monologue. Can I say I didn't catch the lifespan.
Oh,
information.
That could be hundreds of years.
Okay.
If it's well protected, it can just last and last and last.
It's not well protected.
It'll just fall to bits in no time, but the decks mean that this building will last.
So this is a pre-application consultation. Therefore, I'm sure you fully understand that you can express no form of opinion on it. Members can ask the questions they ask, give an indication of the answers they might usually seek. But in the end, you don't express a form of opinion on that. The committee, and I'm not supposed to report this, it might prompt some comments about the committee to add value to that state, often identify the following aspects of developments in Crewe, and those relate to waste storage, practical and sustainable, to minimise the risk of on-street waste and pests, because in high density accommodation that becomes quite a significant risk, we know that's from practice. That there is secure cycle storage and sustainable and easily accessible, that the site is safe, it's lit, and has security that means that residents are at risk. You've already mentioned there's a significant net biodiversity gain across the town, that's what we're seeking. Sustainable energy production, which you've already prompted on the drawings, is something we often see. We tend not to be openly keen to see a crowding effect and overdevelopment of the site. And on that, sometimes we receive the highest quality practical and the highest density possible as an approach. Some of the indicative proposals that you shared with us seem to be moderate, just above technical minimum housing standards. It might be considered that there should be a tiny bit more ambition in development to provide a bit more space.
Bigger units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an ambition to see more public garden in town. And large numbers could absorb a depiction there of something, perhaps. We are, I'm sure, within the building regs anyway, sustainable drainage is key. The large number of drain and water And a good residential mix, which I think you've referred to already. Do you have a question? And I haven't called my identify the number of units currently proposed on the density that you've drawn it as.
117.
117. Thank you.
How many
Sorry, members, just my
That
long
was one of my questions.
Go on.
No, that was one of my questions.
Got, Kevin,
Are you planning to build over and on this building?
Good question. That's going to be that'll be dependent on the structural engineer's report. So here, the columns that are around the perimeter, the beams spanning the beams of the crash deck, and then there'll be the main structure. And the design of that main structure will depend on the strength of the existing building. So that'll be X-ray and sound analysis of the foundation, and then the engineer can report how much we can rest on it.
yes.
A fairly simple question. I know you referred to Derby. Is that complete, or like, have you got a similar size that we can look at in real life?
No.
No.
No, I mean, deck access isn't new, and it can, it's along with badly managed estates and badly managed internal corridor, badly managed deck access has had problems. Privately managed, probably with proper tenant management, works very well on the constant, and is having a resurgence now in the UK.
But the Derby one's not yet in
Oh, sorry.
completion. The Derby one's not completed, is it?
No, that's right. That's the one we're expecting activities like planning permission every day.
Oh, right.
Yeah, planning applications usually with Derby City Council for about 12 months.
Yeah.
So we're now at the point where council are happy to recommend approval. So hopefully we should have a final decision by January.
Whereabouts in Derby is it?
It's Cotton Lane, the ex-police station on Cotton Lane.
Yeah, it's probably Osmarston regeneration area, so quite near to a Rolls Royce
Yeah.
site. Yeah.
We're happy to share the drawings with you. Also, we're doing some community-led redevelopment in Hastings with a smaller scheme, short airspace on the car park. Happy to share that with you.
It's an interesting concept.
Thanks.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'll share that. That's fine.
You said 117 accommodations,
The flats. That's right.
117,
117.
24 car parking spaces.
That's right, because we're expecting the target. So there's lots and lots of secure cycle and EV bike and e-scooter storage and charging space at ground floor level. We expect the target audience, because the move towards electric cars is going to disenfranchise a lot of the youngsters from buying cars. The car class allows them to have access to a personal car. And so that's something that came up in Derby, wasn't it? This is where the real need is with youngsters who won't tend not to own cars.
It's quite a sustainable location as well, being in the town centre, and we have had some positive engagement with highways officers who supported this general approach. The approach to drive down the number of parking spaces if possible, and kind of fitting into the wider vision of the town centre, where Crewe sees itself perhaps less reliant on the car as in previous years, using that space for more beneficial uses.
I guess expect when we look at the plan application, we look at many plan application, we always look at parking, generally speaking, because most of the applications that we get are within our Victorian, what they call ladder streets, and highways have a lovely tier phase that we don't need parking and all the rest of it, but we know, as to live in those streets, it can get quite challenging. However, that shouldn't stop anybody looking at alternatives, and you're asking presenting something that you see as the future. But, you know, that people, these professional people living there, won't have the cars or they'll share cars. Because that's what happens in cities, they share it, don't they? But from our perspective, we're looking at anybody to invest, what we look for is high quality. Because what we want is something, and I use this, and it's not a planning one, it's one of the buildings. We want this wow factor. We want something different because we think once something's established, it'll then have a knock on.
That's right.
All those sites that you've identified, it could then, because we know that Cheshire East are looking at the car parks already. Not, I don't just mean when multi-storey and what they call it all that. Okay. The other car parks in the town centre, the long-term plan is to actually put houses back on those.
Yeah.
Because they used to be, if you look at that picture there,
That's
there's
right.
your sites on
That's
there.
right. Yeah.
And they're all those streets, and they've gone. And that's
Yeah.
when the town then started to reduce in numbers, because thousands of people, including myself, lived there.
Yeah.
And then once we all got spread around the outskirts of Kirk and various places,
Yeah.
then it started to suffer.
Yeah.
So now they're coming back and saying, I think we ought to put some houses on those cars.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we're desperate to get that, but we don't, but we're very, you have to say we're quite critical, because we want something that's good and positive, and not, because we've seen it all, well, there's a house that we can get six rooms complete, I think we'll put 8 in. You know what I mean? And that's where, from our perspective, we get quite, and we have one on our agenda later on, by the way, that potentially is that. So, you know, that, and I termed it the other day to Pete that Lumineck, they've dropped anchor in High Street.
Well, it is.
You know what I mean?
It's the,
And you've used it, and I'm thinking, because that to me, yeah,
you'll see that when we share the Derby thing, it started off actually very rapidly. It was a bit on the plan, and it was in quite a very small. It was back streets, so much shorter red brick buildings, and that's how we dressed that one up. It's just a bigger brick roof, it's much quieter. But this is, I'm very excited about this. You know, it's the site, Southern Gateway site. And,
okay, then, sorry, yeah, and then we'll have to probably.
Yeah, there was just a couple more questions on that. One was to do with the existing floors of those buildings. What will those uses be? Will it continue in some cases to be sort of retail or offices? That's one. And the other question is, could you just explain for my benefit what you mean by deck access?
yes, sure. What I'll do, I'll just get the. This is actually quite a useful drawing. This is one of the lower, the first and second floor on the existing Breeden house. And what we're doing there is that's a refurb. It's just there's an internal corridor and we're just setting it out. That allows the client. So part of the reason for our approach is that it gives the flexibility when at this stage with the crash deck you can still have the offices operational and occupied, and then they can gradually decant according to the planning permission if we get planning permission, and you can decant to get turn these offices into flat refurbished flats. They're kind of funny shape, to be honest. They're long and thin, but that'd be really nice and bright. Ground floor is staying as commercial, and yeah, on Denison Road.
Okay.
Is it? Sorry, there was another question which I've forgotten.
Can you tell me what deck access is?
Oh, deck access is where. So, good drawing. Internal corridor access. You don't normally get new flats like this. They have little internal corridors, stubby internal corridors like that. That's that. Deck access is externally accessed. So these are the little front gardens So imagine like you sat in your front yard and always, and then people walk past on the shared route here, and then you've got a space for plants and to sit out here, the morning sun, these private decks at the back, that would be the evening sun in summer.
Is it lifts?
Yes, yeah, there's a lift core here, and the new regs require 2 staircases, so the fire brigade and the people can all get up and down the building.
Just a quick one, what's the floor building in the middle?
Oh, that's,
there.
yeah, that's, there's, I haven't got all plans here, but that's mainly at ground floor level, that's where the bins and the bicycles are, lots of bicycle storage, and charging, because it's really important that people don't charge. There'll be no charging in any flats, because it's a really major fire hazard. But that little building, which is existing building, could be chopped back quite a lot to allow light into the building.
How many charges will we have?
That's a good question. I'll need to get back and answer that. I don't know off the top of my head.
Did you say 7 at one point? 24 spaces and 7 electric charging.
There's car parking spaces. There's 24 car parking spaces. There's 100% cycle storage for every flat has got a secure lockable place for their bicycle, ground floor. And what I think realistically they'll all be slow chargers, which is just normal household socket, 2 or 3 kilowatts. And I think it'll be a decision for the client, I think, to look at the cost of because it'll probably need its own substation, this development. So it's going to
And that's the cost of it.
it'll be a decision like how big do we need this new substation for?
You have to have a good boiler room. Well, thank you for that. Is there anything you wish to ask?
No, just it was a really useful meeting with Kevin last week, before last, and that got lots of our questions answered. That's exactly in relation to the town centre, which is great.
We haven't given anything too much away, that's the main thing from our perspective. So, just very quickly, what is your next steps for this particular development?
We are we're due to make a planning application when we receive feedback from the concerns and the Cheshire East Council, obviously the 2 key stakeholders, and that's kind of in the pipeline. It's sort of, we're still in that period. So, I mean, Tim's about to answer that question.
Yeah, I think as always it takes a lot of time to get these sort of major planning applications together, well, any planning application these days. But we didn't really want to rush things. We've been looking to engage the council, the Cheshire East Council, pre-app discussions. So we've met with planning officers, highways officers earlier on this year. Then we met with the urban design officers separately as well before engaging the town council. So we want to do things in the right way. We want to receive feedback and let everybody have an opportunity to review the proposals. Things are still evolving, but I think the aim will be hopefully to submit a planning application before the end of this year, if we can. The timescales can change. That's currently what we're working towards.
Thank you.
Very quick. Roughly how long does it take from start to finish?
Great thing about pre-fabrication is that you can, and certainly not on Derby because it's just getting going, but when, if we are lucky enough to get planning permission for Crewe, you could actually start construction the next day because you call up the factory and you say you can start construction. Because there'll be a site preparation. So anyway, to answer your question, I mean, a traditional contract would take about 18 to 24 months, so this will be 12 to 18 months.
because that's one of the busiest junctions
Yes.
in the town, and that is going to cause havoc.
Not necessarily, I think probably not, because it'll all be coming along on factor.
Okay then, well, thank you for that, and have a safe journey down to Brighton.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the opportunity, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, everyone, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay then, let's move swiftly on to item 5. Consider making a response to the following planning application: 244416. Land adjacent to 179 Alton Street, Crewe. It's a non-material amendment.
Yeah,
Is there anything?
there's no significant observations. That's effectively it's solar panels on the roof. To the development that's going on Alton Street, it's corner was spoken about several times. It's not any additional cost or anything like that. It's a non-material change to add a little bit of solar panels.
Okay, that's no comment.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have no comments.
Okay then, next one. 241225. Street record, David Whitby Way. Again, discharge of a condition on approval for reserve matters. Is there anything?
No, it was discharged of approval. It's already been carried forward by Cheshire East on this one. There was oh yeah, sorry. This is the nature trail, and it's posts that are going in to follow the nature trail. The design of those posts. It's often just see what's that one in the picture. It's in overly. Yes, it's this sort of stuff here.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
No, reference to this is
Yeah, that sort of thing. It's not something that we can really influence, and it's nothing too challenging. I have no comments for anybody.
Anyone want to make any comment?
No,
Okay.
it's pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah. all right. Next one then. Discharge of condition 243664. Demolition of a temporary industrial warehouse. Construction of an integrated logistics centre.
Yes, it's on Prim's Lane site, Bentley. They're taking down the building, and well, that's the conditions of how we take it in the remedial works to build it. The planners, principle of discharge conditions. Again, no comments from me. It's quite a technical application, and I can't promise I follow it entirely.
So we'll know that.
Yeah.
Okay then, this 243643, 194 Nantwich Road. Change of use from shop to a 6-bedroom HMO.
Right. This unit here. Yes. Early street here, you can see Sherwood Street inside. So we can position it well. It's rather Nantwich Road proper. And it's literally a change into an HMO. Without wishing to presume, I think I have an understanding of the expectations of this. So that's the unit there. It's just a terraced house effectively, what is now currently a shop. We're looking to turn it into an HMO on the ground floor. They are providing off the alleyway at the rear a couple of parking spaces, which is unusual. They have got the bike storage and the bin storage, but it remains an HMO. The 6 bedroom, That's as it is existing. It's got a loft space, it's got up into the second floor. There we go, that's what we're planning. So, off the front door, 2 bedrooms and a shared kitchen and shared shower room. Upstairs, 3 bedrooms, smaller, much smaller shared kitchen and a small shower room. Loft, second floor, a bedroom with a shower room. These lines here indicate the height of the roof space, so beyond that point, the roof will be a little bit lower than the window stand.
I'll build one.
You could go well into those eaves there, Dennis. Yeah, that's cool. My comments so far, I mean, just hopefully help out. Generally, the committee usually rejects these sorts of proposals on the grounds that HMO has been identified as unsustainable low quality accommodation, creating local issues due to the nature of the accommodation, and being the subject of Article 4 directives on agreed to restrict their proliferation. The proposals will lead to loss of means of neighbouring properties due to on-street waste and noise. The proposals represent overdevelopment of the site, providing for cramped accommodation with no use of space for potential residents. Concerns relating to safety and emergency egress from the second floor are from comments on my
Do any of the rooms be technical?
Yes, they do.
They do do technical. And the fact they've got 2 kitchens is sufficient. There's no amenity before.
Well, there's a little bit of yard, to be fair. There's only a little bit of
I mean, the bedrooms, kitchen.
Oh no, there's no shared land or anything. It would be fair, I believe, to interpret these designs as providing for potentially 6 double bedrooms. I can't guarantee that's what it's providing, and they can't provide any assurance that it does or doesn't. That's not possible. But as is indicated in the drawings, there are shown to be 6 double beds. So it could be potentially 12 people living in.
So it's on 3 floors.
Yeah,
So,
ground floor floor.
Yeah. So, if there's a fire, how do they get out of the loft?
Well, I often made a point that I've represented in my comments.
Yeah.
Same way they've got out for the last 125 years.
Yeah, last
The
time.
loft wasn't accommodation.
The loft is an original if you look at that window. That would have been the mate's quarters.
It might, well, it's only got a hatch in it. Isn't it?
But that's not by the by, we're looking now with changes, so I agree. It's there, but that would have been, that house would have been a large house with servants' quarters in the, I don't, because that's, you're not talking a dormer there, that's, a leading line, that is original, that would have been before the schooling they would have lived there.
Yeah, but they didn't give a monkeys about the maids in those days. Nowadays, we do.
Well, I don't think we should use Ulster. I think we're now looking at people living up there and we're making a state comment. That's an overdevelopment. And
Yeah.
that could make that, as we will see later in the agenda, at 196 Nancy Shores next door, where they're making it 2 flats or 4 flats, 200 each floor. Whilst we can't comment on that now, that's what I would be looking at in that town house, where you've got some good apartments rather than individual bedrooms, which we know 12 are in there, you can plus that all. That's the
There's
reality.
no amenity space, there's nowhere for people to socialise.
No.
It's more likely, to be honest with me, it's more likely to be, I can just see that sort of layout, which is a bedroom, microwave, and that's handy in the fridge, more likely to be an Airbnb than and also, well, we'll come to another application later, but it's cramped. 12 people, 2 parking spaces will already be there anyway, which is perfectly adequate, obviously, for one house. No, not adequate. I think you covered that anyway, I'm sure, with the adequate parking. It's the usual list of issues with these sorts of applications. We're trying to pattern in perpendicular.
So, is there anything we need to add? Because
No, I think it's covered.
It's covered, well.
we're all quite
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we obviously captured that.
I'll put it down resolved, with the objection proposal on the grounds listed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, thanks. So now 24, 42, 75. Tommy Lester's Garage, 173 Minchley Road, and it's proposed side extension for garage. Last time we looked at this site, they wanted to build properties on the side, didn't they? Apartments or whatever. Wasn't it like full development? Yes.
So,
Now they just want to come out.
put a side extension on it. No garage on it, but not too big.
I think I should have an interest in this because he's my garage. It's just been taken over by Paddy and John, who used to be.
Okay, then we'll record that.
That's
So we're talking Paddy and John's garage.
Yeah,
the
he does.
that one off.
I'm sure it is.
Obviously, your intent is not to
Hence,
take part.
hence why we've not got,
Put that in your diary.
thanks for that, but that's why we've got now an extension to the garage.
Yeah.
What you basically do is put a little ramp in.
That's it.
So, because, as I said, we've seen two applications in recent years where they wanted to just overdevelop the site for people to live on. Which creates a lot of trouble. So it's just this extra.
Yeah.
Side, isn't it?
Just like you say, another ramp, making the site potentially more viable as a business. I assume this space is. I haven't got any comments.
No.
There was a first, you know.
Put it in your diary.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thanks for that. We'll move on then. This is another 24, 41, 78, New History Centre with related access servicing, landscape and associated work.
Right. So we all, I think, know this relates to the old library.
Yeah, like just,
More there.
yeah.
The public realm has effectively been completed now. It's a little bit behind schedule, I understand, but it's being done. And the next job is to build the history centre rural on that site. There is identified.
Yeah.
So this area is now being built out as a public realm. There's an extension of the law course here. And this application is just about this space here. And we've seen in the past, because it has now like planned for the outside of it, this is the floor plans we're looking at. I don't know what happened to it. You want to. It should appear in that floor plan, but it didn't, because it did want to do upstairs. That's the upstairs floor. I'll go back and show you the ground floor in a second. It's effectively lots of reading rooms and meeting rooms. There is secure reading rooms so you can bring your artifacts out in public reading rooms. It's a big open box being filled with tables and learning actually. There's not a lot to draw down from these bits of information. That works now. I'm afraid the ground floor plan isn't working. It's extremely similar to the first floor plan, which is that. I can't tell you what history centre should look like inside. This is what they're proposing: stairwell and lift, and lots of rooms for history to be central.
We are a council too, and lots of people will have an interest. I wonder if is there any proposal, any intention for there to be some kind of general public roofing? This is what is being proposed. It's an application. Is that seen is that the sort of thing that planners would disapprove of? I know that, I mean, something like this is going to go to some planning,
Yeah.
maybe strategic planning, it's going to go to one of those, I'm sure.
Are you suggesting the project manager for this project should be appointed grouping, or are you suggesting that the planner should be appointed?
Well, it's just a question at this moment. Is there an intention by Cheshire's Council to sort of explain it, because it's going to be a significant public interest?
I will certainly make that request.
I think that would be quite helpful, because this is something that many people will be interested in. They'd like to know more. They won't want to be able to get to a planning committee to hear it all. So whiz through about, well, probably 20 minutes of presentation or something to the planning committee. Something I would have thought. And then, of course, masses of questions. Yeah, it'd be good if we could make that in private.
Happy to, yeah.
It's very difficult. I mean, what we're going to say, I know what I'm going to say, which is, as an individual, the principles have been approved of this for a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we welcome this development and we'd like to be able to see more.
This, to me, is looking at drainage documentation. General arrangements for drainage, various other things that go along with it. Now, at some point in the past, we looked at drawings of potentially what it would look like in the setting. Is there a drawing here that says, this is what the outside is, and then this is what the inside is? I mean,
No,
it doesn't seem to be there, because
I was quite surprised at the lack of drawings and information in this application.
I'm led to believe that there would be like some exhibition type area as you walked in, which because the nature of it being split up from where we're all held now at Chester, Chester's having theirs separate one, we're having one in Crewe for sort of this area. So to me, the selling point was that this is your history from 1837, the railways come, and before, because obviously it was a hamlets and Churchcott Monument, all the rest of it, and then it evolved to where we are today. And the idea of this history centre, I could go in and say, well, in 1846, this came, and you get a free review area. Now, that's fine, but there was also going to be, because if you look on the hoardings outside, there's some extremely interesting, I think anyway, really interesting drawings of what we had in the industry, railways, and it's really, so I can see, I can get quite excited, which is unusual. I can get excited because I'm thinking, I'm going to learn a bit more history myself. But equally, I want the building to reflect, and it did, it was lots of glass, and, so is that being passed? Because if it hasn't, we should be looking at inside, outside, shouldn't we? Which is what Steve
we did have a drawing, didn't we? But I don't want to see it.
That's just like it. This is how we're going to lay out a few desks.
Well, I did make the notes. The only comment I have made is inaccurate information to understand the scheme. That might not be grounds for objection, but might be grounds for comments.
And I think Steve has brought that forward anyway, and I agree.
Yeah.
So we just reflect that then? And, thank you, Steve.
It says here, I'm looking at it in this awful new system that they've introduced, and it says that the proposal is it says that discharge of conditions 6, 11, 12, and 13 on approved application, etc. But yeah,
That's saying it's been passed though. If you were looking
well,
at
it
that.
refers here construction. It says on approved application 22 forward slash So that's well, the construction's been approved, but I mean, whether that was an outright.
Because we did see an external, didn't we, right at the beginning? We did see one.
Yeah.
So they must have passed it.
Didn't we see plans of this?
Yeah, we did.
Where it showed you the external view,
Yeah.
all 4 elevations and some inside. But I'm sure I've seen something where you walk through the door and
what's that number, Steve? Then we could just.
Mm.
Well, the first two of the application, 22,
4415.
4451.
Well, surely would have, well, if they haven't, we should do, but
Which is and that is the construction that's actually following the demolition. So that's,
yeah, construction obviously.
Because there was drainage plans and all sorts in that first application.
The usual addresses have made comment. 101 Bedford Street, 67 15 Road. Yeah.
That's down, yeah.
it's just like, yes, that's a view, but I want to see what it's like inside.
Well, well, you've just seen it, well, then that's. So what was the conclusion of that? So after they put that, what was the conclusion that they recommended? Or?
Well, that application for ASIO was approved. That's the cross sections that.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that meeting room now as being on the drawing, what we've seen on the first screen.
That's great, yeah.
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 Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So there you are.
But where's like John just said, the museum bit where you've got the history, that's really
Yeah, they
important.
did. Yeah, they did. So what's this corridor there? What's this end?
It's here, it says, it calls it a plant deck.
Plant.
I know, I assume it's got a load of plants in it, but boilers or something like that.
Is that where the ramp,
That's-
sorry, is that where the ramp comes up off the road?
That's gone.
Where
now.
is
The ram's gone.
I know it has, but
Oh, yeah,
that looks like that area to me.
Well, no, that doesn't relate to that at all, that's just part of the new build.
So just to establish for our sanity here, we're looking at the inside of the building now, whilst the outside on the previous application has been passed.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like it, doesn't it?
Just so we,
Yeah,
But it's just the plants again.
so,
but the inside, like John says, really, I think we want more detail, like, yeah, don't we?
yeah, it's just,
Like, where is the history with people to look at?
Well, as it's been mentioned, this is a discharge of the associated conditions on the drainage and
Oh,
which is,
floor
that's
plan
this
as well,
one is-
so it's fulfilling its technical need. I agree, I do say it's not a huge amount of context to help them understand it.
So what do we want to still reflect something there then?
I think I've been directed to contact the planning and regeneration chief if there's going to be put in a request, put a briefing on exactly what this means and where we're at, and that what's not objecting the application to provide more quite details to understand the context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. See, when you look at that, it doesn't look a bit exciting, does it?
No.
It's not.
I think it's down script on
It's you then going up, you know. As I say, them outside, that was.
It is really
It is
interesting, I've seen
That's
it,
when
yes,
you go in
yeah.
there, it's like
Yeah.
going into, you know.
Yeah,
However, this is a planning meeting, not to. That's a move on then.
policy with our strategic planning board, the week looks like the week before Christmas. So it might be, oh no, what am I talking about? Ignore,
Right.
ignore that comment.
24th, 3161. 333B, West Street, change of use from residential to commercial. We had this last month.
Well, yes, but the applicant has put in additional information and an amended layout. So I don't know what you recall, but I haven't gone over it today. These are the existing floors as a residential unit. Proposes to make retail unit downstairs and a flat upstairs. We had an issue with this room in the middle being a bedroom because you have to walk through it, if you recall. Corridor more than anything else.
Yeah.
And so we suggested it wasn't a great positive development on that basis, so that they've put in that it's not going to be a bedroom, it's a living room, it's only a 2-bedroom upstairs flat now as a proposal. And they have also submitted responses to a lot of our comments.
In that letter, it sort of suggests that we could make it, it refers to there being not an absolute that you have to have a communal space.
It does say that.
That's what is,
Yeah,
interpreted, whether that is.
But they're saying, but we will do
that
it if that helps.
I don't think they have any option, because I mean, you're walking through a bedroom.
Yeah, I don't think you can call it a
No.
Anyway, so they do make responses here to all the comments we've made, and one residential comment as well.
Why ask for it to be commercial when downstairs is already commercial? Downstairs is Bellarmine, is a temple.
According to that, it might have changed to an office or something. There's some reference there.
No, I think it went over to residential at some point, from our reception room, the bedrooms upstairs. The planning applications changes from residential to commercial. It might just regularise it.
Not wanting to muddy the waters,
Where you going with?
but I will. How do we go, whilst that is what is written, and we have to accept that, that's what the lady has written. But how do we know that they will be bedroom?
I've had this out of planning in the past. I've made this point to planning, and planning saying, you can't do anything, you can't go and check on it. That's not what we're here for. We can approve a principle of planning. I agree, it's frustrating. That could easily have, it says in Quincy put a bed in it. But in the end, just like say, we're looking at a planning application for a
We
2-bedroom
have to
flat.
accept that,
Yeah,
for the record, I'm not doubting what they've written, and I'm
quite right.
very trustworthy. However,
There were all the comments we made in the past about the need to space externally, but I don't know if you'd want. I would suggest it's been updated, that's fine, but we don't need to make any more comments. We've already spoken about
Yes.
right. 24, 44, 42, prior/30, whatever that may mean. And this is next door to 194, it's 196 Nancyfield, and it's changed the use to it from existing 2-storey office building and divided into 4 separate flats, 2 on each floor. This one is figured quite
that was the previous unit.
it's next door to
That's
where
this
we
unit we're talking about now.
I'm not sure that we can make it from here. If it's a prior use, a prior, what do they call it?
prior 30, what does that mean?
Well, it basically means the key thing is it was a 2-storey office building, and I think it was the Pickles rules about 10 or 12 years ago, meant that conversion of office, which is we're going to change current use it is, the class it is. Offices could be converted into use for residential purposes. And like the only comments that could be made, I think it's Blackwell House, for example, were to do with environmental contamination and highway danger. So at this stage, it's prior to changing the principle of change of use. There's not much you can say, unless we think it's going to be cause highway danger. Evidence of contamination. I mean, the details. Does it have detail in this?
There's the flat layouts. I think that red outline is a flat, black outline is a flat.
Took a bit of working out, I thought.
Yeah. So they're not overly small. It's not they're providing each of the flats rather than an HMO. So you do get living space in your own kitchen and your own bathroom.
Yeah.
I couldn't make any comments on
They're not going into the attic,
that. No,
No,
it's
they're
that.
not, no.
which, it's next door and it's very similar.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's very similar.
I think they've done a good job of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's expression prior approval. And that's what David Pickles introduced some years ago in an attempt to speed up the provision of housing. 7 years before, 6 or 7 years before the pandemic, made the requirement for offices probably reduced the requirement for offices anyway.
I'm not saying what it was before, but there's something like might be wrong with it. Lady Labour Trust or something with a charity. Regulated outside there. Something like
Was it
that.
shelter? No, not shelter, that survive.
It's the only one that sees fire of it. It's different than the other because it's that way. It's not.
Oh,
It's not the attic.
That's the
Oh,
place where they
yeah,
had survive.
it's got more space, that's why they can move that.
One the place where they had survive, which was
It's got all that side.
Yeah, it's got a lot more space to move in, but,
So
yeah.
And that's its rear there, so it's got a couple of spaces.
that's their parking spot, isn't it?
Mm.
Because that looks like an extension to me.
Yeah.
Yours,
Doesn't
yeah,
it?
definitely, yeah.
Well, it would have been, it would have been a rear garden.
Yes.
So that's the two. So again, this one is,
Yeah, we can only argue that there's no external amenity space.
Mm.
Yeah, but there's nothing they can do about that, is the problem. It's already exists, and that's
It's already
that's
there, yeah.
literally all they've got. So
Mm.
So where's the business going to go?
down that ginnel,
Yeah.
down again. That's next door.
well, on the back there, I don't know. I thought we could get through that.
Mm, I did.
I think that's
Is it meant-
access to their back door, then, isn't it?
Is there a drawing of the
Yeah, that's their back door rear access.
bins? It says fire escape.
Bin, and then fire escape down, so that's from upstairs. But that's their back door there, onto that ginnel. So on that picture seen there, that's part of it as well.
That's part of that.
Oh,
Yeah, so that ginnel's where the bins are.
It says 4 spaces, doesn't it? 4 car parking spaces for that.
Oh yes, it does. Yeah.
It says
That's-
4, so
yeah,
there's
Yeah,
2.
you could
There's 2
fit,
this
yeah,
side,
you
yeah.
could, yeah.
So
There's 4 flats.
size-wise, bins ticks everything then in that sense.
Give or take, yeah. I mean, if you think you've got 4 units and potentially 3 bins each, there's not room for 12 bins there.
And in the new world, potentially, it could be more bins.
Yeah.
Food waste bins. So we've got to be thinking of all the thinking.
Waste storage. Are we objecting or noting concern?
What could they do, what solution could they do in that? I mean,
It's
they are
difficult, isn't it?
spacious. aren't they?
Yeah, the point in flats, not HMOs, that's a positive.
It is a
Yeah.
positive, yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm not suggesting it'd be an objection.
No.
to
Encourage that more than
Yeah.
HMOs, don't we?
I think it makes sense to sort of express some concern,
Well-
because I'm not sure myself, about this, things of doing prior approval application, planning application. It's essentially about changing use, isn't it? Prior approval,
Just try to
change
change
the
the
use.
use, yeah.
But that's what the application actually consists of, and they say, well, this is what it might look like. But,
I
yeah,
don't-
that's fair, isn't it? You can't particularly, if ends later on they come to a detailed planning application, I don't know if they will.
No.
I'm not sure they will, but it's worth looking at the history of Rail House, for example, the biggest single example of such a case, conversion of 168 offices into flats.
So am I submitting the comments?
And those bins is the biggest issue.
I think we should,
On the
When
waste
they talk
storage.
bins.
I think we should show concern about the waste storage.
What's the alternative, that's the thing.
Yeah.
What
You could
suggestion,
have an issue with the food waste.
what suggestion could we put?
Okay.
So we're gonna make some reference to the,
Yeah,
to the,
Yeah, the waste.
looking at that. Right, so that concludes that section. So 6 will become urgent planning application that come in. 24, 43, 18, CLPUD. No, not what. 136 Richmond Road. Certificate of proposed lawful use for internal and minor external layout alterations and change of use to C4, house in multiple occupations, 6 number occupants max.
do we have any houses left for people to buy?
This is used now as a family home. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good quality terraced house.
On the corner of
Yeah.
Richmond Street there.
And the street, that's right.
No plans at all. That's as it is today. So it's a family home, it's got outside space with it. You can see. And there's the first floor with some bedrooms and a bathroom. And then access hatch to the loft. The proposal is, get the apologies, create an HMO with 2 rooms downstairs and the kitchen and dining room. At the first floor, we're going to have another 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, 2 bathrooms, or shower, and then up in the loft, to another bedroom, and just some shower. So that's your proposal there. I made notes very similar to the last one about insulation, stable low quality information. The Article 4 directives for group. Proposals will lead to loss of immediate enabling property due to on-street waste and noise. Proposals represent overdevelopment of the site, providing cramped accommodation, inadequate amenity space for potential residents, and concerns relating to safety and emergency egress from the second floor. You may want to mention parking because of the 6 rooms there, but it was just a single family before, but we may well be needing more parking.
That's 6. There you go, out with that. Okay then.
Yeah,
It's just endless.
it is endless.
You get depressed because, if need be, make 2 nice flats in there.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, easy.
This is what we,
I agree.
it's a
Well,
bit,
it's only
yeah,
6, but I mean, there'll be couples, won't there? That,
yeah,
it's all in
that's
that,
not
what's
good.
the question mark?
No.
So that's the reality.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Beautiful, can't
That's
it?
corner plot.
yeah.
Right, so
Okay then, let's move on. Now this is land to the west of David Whitney Way, adjacent to Croce Mill Farm.
yeah, we've had this one already. It's outside of us technically. It's Green South Development or something like that.
Could be,
Down
there,
there.
isn't it? It's one of them that is
Yeah.
on the edge of a few parishes.
The ward is technically hasn't.
I think Kittens was talking about. Good.
Well, so there's big way over there and Cruise over here somewhere. And unfortunately, this new system doesn't let me scroll outwards. I can't pull the map out on this anymore. go, here. It's this area down here. Right, see what it's starting to do. And it's this bit here.
No way chill on was going on. What do you think?
No, it could be quite nice areas.
It's just a small developer building 20.
No, it's a big.
Seems to be, yeah.
I think no, it's Taylor Wimpey. It's a big development. Just that it's just another. I'm not suggesting they've done this on purpose. It might be that the site has been parcelled into smaller developments or is a phased application, perhaps.
Right, I've seen the start, well,
Yeah,
where I've seen that one. No, it's not.
So something around. It's already settled in the local plan for development. It's outside parish. And this aspect
That's
is the full application for.
And that's, on that plot, there's 20 houses.
Yeah.
Women never slipping up.
Not just that, but that's just one portion of the whole plot. Yeah, they're not massive gardens. But it's just I think it's just a bit that they hadn't previously got planning consent for.
Right.
Top job.
Yeah.
That's one puzzle actually. Even comes to us, we didn't have any invitations at Parish Council. If we was, I see an email came through the council system to say about this. Sure, it was this one. Going to go to strategic planning board at some point. There was some such. It's very familiar. And if we wanted to send anybody, then to let them know that perhaps I'm mixing it up with something else.
Not right. There's been more than one application on that side. There's a commercial, industrial aspect to it.
Yeah,
A much larger housing development aspect to it. And now this smaller housing development aspect to it. The map was out of as well. Last time we spoke about it, we talked about permeability cycling and how cycling will get through from here to there and that sort of thing. That wasn't this little bit of the corner.
Right.
I don't know why this is going to be second carbon.
So do we want to make any
I
comments?
was a bit puzzled. I had a feeling that this one's going to go to strategic planning board this week. There's a SPB on Wednesday. I got an email. Well, it didn't just come to me. It was sort of sent to whomever. So I don't really know why we got it to us. This might have been an area which at one time somebody thought might be added to Crewe South Ward and hence Crewe Town's area. It was pushed, it was kicked into touch because of the one-side railway line. Long area. So,
Right,
no comment obviously.
so we
Yeah.
just look, we know that there is. Okay,
Yeah.
well, the next one then, 24, 35, 52, which was on, definitely on last month, and we had no, couldn't get
comments.
anything up, I think.
I think that, and that's why it's come back again, because I made that comment to them, Councillor Houston made sure of that, and now we can see, I could see it, let's have a few now. And we're talking about, on the Adelaide School site, this additional aspect here, proposed extension. And it's back in school there, doesn't seem to be too challenging for existing proposal. That's the existing elevation, and you can see, goes into the back there. It's not desperately challenging in any way, shape or form that I can identify.
It's not having a traditional roof on it, then, is it? It's just a draw job.
Well, it's to fulfil the capacity of the school.
Right, okay, sorry, Tony.
Oh, no, the only comment I'm going to make, which is not appropriate to the plan as such, is I don't agree with the interface toilet facilities. I think that's not right. I'm going to mention it. don't agree with that at all. I don't. I really don't. I think in schools you shouldn't have insects. Why would you? Because when you think about private space that we all talk about, that is not creating private space for children. That's not right. Would you agree? Yeah. Yeah. I think if they're going to do the building, I don't see why they can't split it and make it how it should be. Like, what school is it? What age group school is it? Don't we know? Is that there? Is that there?
Well, it's not, is it? It's a special school.
Special needs school.
It's quite a range of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think that's probably worse. Because I mean, thinking about my granddaughter, I don't think she'd use it. I think she'd just not go to the toilet until she got home. She wouldn't use it. That's what I mean. Boys and girls, it's absolutely no way. No, they wouldn't.
Probably saving them space, isn't it? That's probably,
Yeah, but-
I'm not saying it's right.
No, it's not. I think the comment from us as parents, and I know it's not on the planning, but I think it should be made that I think that comment should be made. I totally disagree with it.
Okay, someone else?
Please, if you want, I don't agree with it.
Well, it's agreed. Yep.
Clearly,
That's fine. So our comments that the provision of unisex toilets is not supported.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I just confirm that 24 was 14 and it's on the agenda, strategic planning board this week.
Right.
So
As in when,
That's interesting.
there's an invitation to us to send a speaker if we wanted to, this entertainment by 12 o'clock tomorrow. Or whenever the deadline's 12 o'clock tomorrow. Since we've got no comment anyway, that would make sense of it coming on.
right, just before we move on, we've clearly got a new system up, haven't we? I mean, it'll take some, and well, I find it's trying to get used to it, it's not easy. But one of the things that we do is look at all the comments in the nature of being a town council. We like to look, is there any neighbourhood comment, or we may in some cases actually agree on that.
Yeah.
I don't see at this stage any up there. Equally, how do we know when you submit? Because I'm not saying we can get our own back. Now, I'm trusting of everybody. However, I do like to read what, because obviously I have to approve what you're, and then I make sure that it's not been, changed.
I haven't changed.
I know you won't change it, but when it's gone there, just so we can, and other people, because it's important that residents see our comments, because that's what we're trying to reflect in most cases. So, is it me that can't get things up, or is it?
I haven't seen any when I've gone through these applications. I think I've seen them all the applications. But we can go through it and we'll check a few more. And then if it's an issue, perhaps we might say let's go.
I don't like what they've done. I think it made it to me. I'm very happy to say this in public as well. This is supposed to be an improvement. It's not an improvement for members of the public the way this is done because the access isn't so easy. The previous system might have been customised from previous, different arrangements to three of the old clubs, and it was very easy to turn things up. Just those comments, but now you can do it. I tried it the other day on some application or other, something to do with value lookup, I think. Anyway, whatever it was, I looked at this particular one because the comment was made by someone we know, and instead of being, all I wanted to do was just look at it.
have to download, you'll notice when we've had all these, Peter's had to download all these things, what's there at the side. No preview available,
Oh,
that's a pain in the neck for a start. And then the description is not always perfectly clear. What it's from. But most of the time, the one I was looking for, and it was only a one-line comment to sort of say that the plans that you put up are the wrong ones, something like that. You have to download all this stuff. You know, and I think, well, I don't want to download it and then delete it. I just want to know where to find it to have a look. So it's made the process slower, and I think it's obviously it's probably more convenient for the council planning officers, I suspect. It's a common system, one system to use, but it doesn't make it any easier for members of the public. And they've already admitted in an email they sent to us, Mr. Malcolm, the head of planning, that they were aware that there were some problems where people might be asked to download to get the Outlook application, Outlook.com, and they might not want that, and then have to pay for it. Why should you have to go to such measures, to such length, just to look at something that's public information? I think it has the effect of making it harder for the public.
I mean, what I found is, because I got built on I've only got iPad, so I got so far, and then it's asking me, normally it would say view or download, well then you just press view and the picture comes up, but there was no view, you had to download, and then it just didn't happen.
It is difficult on the phone.
Have you got it?
This is, we saw it earlier, 333B West Street. And so I can't see this resident, either the email, so we can see the drawings, but it feels unreliable and very, very, very much more difficult than it used to be.
It's not user friendly, is it? No. Oh, and I just thought I'd point that out, because I say
If
I
we have
think
to,
that's helpful.
if we have to pay for Outlook, can we send the bill to Cheshire East Council?
You can send it there when you need to pay it.
That's not the
Alright, let's move on. Thank you. 7, to note responses submitted under delegation.
None.
No. 8, to note and consider, well, we've had 8.1, we've had colleagues from Bean House, Regency Court, they presented. Now the documents that we've been sent, those documents will be on the minutes now.
Both of them, you don't attach documents to minutes.
No, but can they go into?
We haven't been given the, I can ask them if it's okay to circulate them, but it was shared with us.
That's what I mean, can we now, because I'm sure that would be a bit,
We've been on a board publicly, so we can screenshot that, I'm sure. I can ask them what they would prefer to do with how they'd like us to treat those documents.
because I mean, it's gone live and it's put up there.
Yeah, I understand that. I think as a courtesy, because if you come on as well, I think I'll ask them first how they'd like us to treat them.
That's fine. So, you know, I don't want to get me leg out of there. Okay, 9 then. No correspondence associated with plan enforcement.
I've none.
Could you just advise them if we believe someone is living in a garage?
Then we should report that
Put that to plan
enforcement, yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to report that. It's also housing standards as well.
Okay, 10 then, buildings conservation. Receive a verbal update on the process of engagement with planning authority.
The reason it's still a verbal update is we're still engaged with the planning authority. We had a positive meeting with them. We are seeking to get to a point where the conservation areas are defined so that Cheshire East can absorb into their planning policy. We're awaiting Cheshire East to write down exactly what amendments or adaptations or considerations like us to make to this first draft version. We haven't received that yet, but we're having a positive relationship, if not slightly slow. It's not moved on from when you last saw it, but we are trying to move on with Cheshire East Common. That's where we're at. It's not worth writing a report for that basis. I can't tell you from you, but we're going to keep trying. And they're not obstructing in any way. They're struggling for resource, and we are trying to press them. This is a higher priority than they might think.
Have we got anything about trees, planting the trees? In our,
Not in a conservation area.
Yeah.
Plan, no.
No?
That's about building conservation, the heritage buildings.
right,
Is there anything else on that?
No, sorry, I think it was listed, that's why it's available. We're still trying to get it forward.
That could
So it's
stay on
Ridley
there.
House, you could have just left his Ridley House on.
Yeah, she and I were working on it together. We've done our, the heritage experts and the Blunt Institute trying to force their way through Cheshire.
Okay, anyway, the next meeting is actually 11, which will be it's 13th of January 2025.